know all the ins and outs of different kinds of sexual activity, we're going to move on to my next favorite section. Don't be silly, wrap your willy. In this section, we're going to talk about how to have sex safely. It's going to get very intense because, as I understand it, this is the information that is needed most by everyone. So to jump right in. What is safe sex? Sexual activity in which precautions are taken to protect oneself and partner from STIs and pregnancy. STIs means sexually transmitted infection. It used to be STDs, they've since changed it. I would like to emphasize that you always have the right for safe sex. No one gets to pressure you into not having safe sex. It's disrespectful and it's dangerous and the consequences can be permanent. Absolutely. To touch on this a little bit more, there is no such thing, unfortunately, as a 100% safe sex. What you can do is minimize the risk to 99.99999%. As I said, safe sex equals respect, and it includes a dialogue about consent and making sure everyone is on the same page. Quite honestly, you can do whatever you want so long as you're taking the necessary precautions and everyone is on the same page. That's the thing. There really isn't such thing as bad sex, unless you're doing it in a way that your partner doesn't like it. But there's no such thing as the wrong kind of way to do it. As long as everyone is on the same page and consent is given, that's absolutely fine. Continue on. No, go back. So it is really important to communicate with your partner, and I cannot emphasize this point enough. Anyone who has sex can and will get an STI. I'm going to say it again. Anyone who is having sex can get an STI. There is nothing protecting you from it. There's nothing special about you. If you're a human being and you're not taking the necessary precautions, you can and will get an STI. Now moving on. What is an STI? An STI is a type of infection or disease that is passed from one person to another through unprotected sex or genital contact. Emphasize the point here. Genital contact. That is how it is passed. Yes, you can get an STI from oral sex. We're going to dive into that a little bit later, but I cannot emphasize that enough. That is how STIs are contracted. Genital contact and genital fluid. Simple as that. In 2014, there were approximately 440,000 new diagnoses of STIs in England. That is alarming because that's only the number we know that have been reported, because the majority of people today still do not get tested. So the important thing here is to get tested, get tested, get tested, get tested. The greatest impact falls on heterosexuals under the age of 25 and men who have sex with men. This is the really unfortunate thing. Most of you who attend uni are under 25. That means you are at the greatest risk of contracting an STI. So you need to take these precautions because it can and will happen to you. So the other thing I would like to point out here is that the majority of people who have STIs never show symptoms, ever. HIV and AIDS can stay dormant in your body up to 10 years. 10 years. That means the only way to know for sure if someone has an STI is to get tested. There's no such thing as looking at someone and thinking, oh, they look fine. No. It hides. Most of the time, in men especially, it doesn't ever show symptoms. In the UK, chlamydia is the #1 STI, and it is becoming increasingly antibiotic resistant, meaning we soon won't be able to treat it, period. Gonorrhea will soon also be untreatable as the second highest one. This is why these test kits are found everywhere, because it is spreading like wildfire. Moving on. Most common STIs, as I just touched upon: chlamydia, genital warts, genital herpes, gonorrhea, syphilis, HIV/AIDS, trichomoniasis, pubic lice, and scabies. So as I just said, chlamydia and gonorrhea are the biggest problem in heterosexuals under the age of 25 in England, and those are the two most common types of STIs in this country. Genital warts and genital herpes are viruses, as is HIV/AIDS. You will never, ever get rid of it, ever. And with herpes, there's a myriad of different kinds, and the kind we're talking about here is most closely linked to things like HPV and like warts you see on people's faces. Those are the most common types. And once you have them, that's it. You have them for life. We are getting closer to cured AIDS. We're not there yet. You still stand a huge risk in getting them. Absolutely. So now that I've scared the bejesus out of you, how do you protect yourself against these things? don't do that. That's unhygienic and will not taste good later. But in this section, we're going to talk about how to protect yourself very safely and very easily and very cheaply. Moving on. So these are the different methods of contraception and protection that exist in the world today. At the top there you have condoms, which is that lovely little red thing. Condoms are worn on the penis when erect. Yes, it must be erect. Absolutely needs to be erect. Again, you can't put it on a flaccid penis or on a flaccid banana. It works the same way with the penis. They are made from latex, and they protect you against STIs and pregnancies. However, they are only 98% effective, which means 2 out of every 100 people get pregnant per year. When using condoms, do not use oil-based products as an accessory. It will degrade the efficacy of the condom and will cease to work. They are temperature sensitive, so like guys, if you're storing them in your wallet, don't do that, because over time they will cease to be useful and effective. So basically what you're looking for is that yellowish tint, like you know how a branded condom just looks clear, over time it will degrade and turn yellow. That's what you're looking for. Please do not reuse them. Once they've been used, throw the sucker away. They also do expire. What they're referring to is the spermicide. The spermicide actually expires over time. So please make sure to check the date, make sure it's actually gonna work, otherwise you're gonna have a bad time. The implant, the injection, the patch, and the pill, and the ring are all, they all use various forms of hormonal control to modulate a woman's cycle. They are perfectly safe. Anything you hear about them causing abortions or miscarriages or things like that, all bullshit. Absolute bullshit. The pill has been around since the 60s and they've made huge improvements on it. So it's absolutely safe so long as you are taking it 100% correctly. This means taking it at the same time every single day. If you have a problem doing this, set an alarm on your phone. Otherwise, look into a more permanent method of birth control. I myself use the implant, which lasts 5 years. It means, on average, you usually don't, or excuse me, 3 years, and you usually don't get a period for at least the first year to year and a half. Awesome. It is, so these methods of birth control also are only 99% effective, and they do not protect you against STIs in any way. The only method of birth control and condoms up there that protect you from STIs are condoms. Everything else doesn't do shit against STIs. The diaphragm, the IUD, are also, the diaphragm is not used as frequently as it once was, but it's still around, it's absolutely safe and effective. And then the vaginal ring, again, is actually more popular now and is absolutely the same thing as hormonal birth control. So having said that, I would like to touch on one more thing. Go ahead. Morning after pill. So that's an emergency contraception, which works by delaying ovulation. It does not cause you to have an abortion. That's not how it works. It delays the egg from attaching to the uterine walls, thus preventing you from getting pregnant. There are no serious side effects. And it is available for free at GP surgeries that offer contraception clinics, most pharmacies, and is widely available at most medical facilities. The most common ones are Letinel, which can be taken within 72 hours, and LO1, which can be taken within 120 hours. I would like to emphasize, though, you should not be taking this as a method of birth control over time. It can mess with your cycle and really should not be a method of birth control. It is literally emergency contraception. I would also like to mention, it is illegal for a pharmacist or anyone to not give it to you. That is breaking the law. Absolutely. So if you go to a pharmacy or a clinic and they say, I'm not going to give it to you, they are absolutely breaking the law, and you have every right to call the cops and be like, they're breaking the law. Absolutely. It's already nerve-wracking enough trying to go and get the pill, having someone deny it to you because of their own beliefs. That's unacceptable and do not tolerate it under any circumstances. So moving